Good morning, dear colleagues. My name is Rafael. I'm from the University of São Paulo in Brazil. Today I'll be presenting the results of this research entitled Trade-offs between productivity, efficiency, and costs of biogas plants for agricultural wastes. This presentation is structured in 4 sections: introduction, methods, results, and conclusions. At each section, I will focus only in the main novelties of this work, as our time is very short. First, a small introduction to the topic. Biogas is a remarkable source of energy which can reduce the energy losses of organic wastes. It can also be an additional product for existing economy sectors, such as agriculture in this case, and therefore, biogas is able to reduce the amount of resources consumed from the environment. In Brazil, the use of biogas for electricity has been steadily increasing in the last few years, as you can see in this chart. However, it is estimated that the existing infrastructure represents only 1% of the total potential of biogas in Brazil. Furthermore, the majority of this potential can be attributed to the agriculture sector, with 60% attributed to the crop wastes and 24% to livestock manure. The majority of biogas plants are small and have installed capacity lower than 200 kilowatts. Unfortunately, the microturbines and combustion engines are not very efficient in this region of power output, as you can see in this chart. A possible alternative is to design solid oxide fuel cells at this scale, since they can achieve efficiencies higher than 50%, as you can see here. In this way, we can avoid costs of biomass transportation and storage while increasing the power output and the economic gains. Thus, the objective of this research was to analyze the possibility to include solid oxide fuel cells in the agriculture sector, in this case, a pig farm. Here. An important difference of this work is the inclusion of biogas production, which is usually disregarded in this type of analysis. With this model, we can discuss the trade-offs of certain design variables based on a multi-objective optimization of the Exergy efficiency and electricity costs. Here, right? Well, now let's start with the methods. The process plant looks like this figure. We have 3 main sections: the biogas production, here, in green, the biogas cleaning in red, and the solid oxide fuel cell in blue, here. The heat exchanger network and utilities, in this case a heat pump, a cooling tower, and a biogas furnace, were optimized to reduce costs and the number of heat transfer units. This model was developed in Julia programming language to reduce the computational time to solve the optimization problem. A novelty of this research is the use of a kinetic model for anaerobic digestion. Therefore, we can estimate the impact of the reactor size in methane production and costs, as you can see in this figure, in which the reactor size is represented by the retention time. Right? We also include a quasi-2D model of a fuel cell to calculate the internal reforming reactions and the influence of fuel depletion and temperature change in the cell voltage. As you can see in this figure, these values may change for a certain position in the cell stack. The details of this model and their validation are presented in the conference paper. So the optimization process is described in this flowchart here, right? And basically, we use the non-dominated sorting genetic algorithm to find the best solutions for Exergy efficiency and electricity cost. The optimization variables and their values are shown in the left-hand side here. They are the retention time of manure, steam to fuel ratio, fuel utilization efficiency, current density, and the theoretical percentage of air. As you can see, the routine is not straightforward. We included two other optimization problems in the routine. One of them is the minimization of utility cost, and another one is the minimization of the number of heat transfer units, right? And both are using the pinch analysis as the theoretical background. All this information is used in the objective functions, as you can see here, right? And the process is iterated for 30 generations for a population of 50 individuals. Well, finally, let me present some results of this research. On the right-hand side, you can see here is the Pareto solutions for our optimization problem. And as you can see, I highlighted the best solutions for each objective function. And the lower cost of electricity was 13 cents per kilowatt hour, and the maximum efficiency was 20%. It's important to stress that these results include the biogas production, and therefore the efficiency seems low because the losses in biogas production are included in this model and analysis. Currently, the average electricity cost in Brazil is around 12 cents per kilowatt hour, as you can see here in red. Therefore, this system may not be economic viable right now, but is very close to be. In the next slide here, I present some trade-offs of the main design variables. First is the retention time of the oasis. As you can see, the retention time is proportional, right, to the cost and efficiency, and this is because a higher retention time leads to a larger reactor, which can produce more methane, but it costs much more, right? On the other hand, if we analyze the current density, we would observe the opposite trend. A lower value of current density would increase the fuel cell size, right here, which would produce more electricity, but it would also cost a lot more. Thus, it is important to find optimal values for these two parameters, right? And in this slide, you can see that the fuel cell in red here and the anaerobic reactor in blue are the main costs of this system. Thus, it is not a surprise that retention time and current density have a deep impact in the optimization problem. It is also interesting to point that if we could allocate a portion of the anaerobic reactor cost to the pig farm, maybe this system could be considered economic viable. Another interesting option to increase efficiency and reduce costs is to convert a portion of the digester effluent into some kind of product, since there is a lot of Exergy there, as you can see here in this chart of Exergy losses. For instance, if the effluent was used or sold as a fertilizer, then the process could be more efficient and the electricity costs could be lower. So, in conclusion, in this research, we estimate that these systems can achieve a minimal electricity cost of 13 cents per kilowatt hour and a maximum Exergy efficiency of 20%. Here, as you can see here, and the multi-objective optimization indicated that the manure retention time and the fuel cell current density are the main design variables of this system, right? And that's because they represent 65 to 74% of the total equipment costs. For future studies, we believe that converting the effluent in some kind of product, such as fertilizer or solid fuels, could be a breakthrough for biogas plants' technical and economical viability. So I would like to thank you all for your attention, and I'm open to questions now. Thank you very much.